Hi, hello everyone. I'm so happy to welcome you to our course. Let me firstly introduce myself. My name is Ivan and I work as a React and React Native tech lead. And I've been working with web technology for more than 4 or 5 years. And a lot has changed during the time. But do you know what has remained constant? Yes, front-end development technologies, well, sort of. Every company, every startup, and even every mobile app has a website or landing page. And do you know what makes all of that possible? Yes, you are totally right. The fundamentals of front-end development. In this course, we will dive into these fundamentals and explore some advanced techniques to build web applications. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your skills, this course will equip you with the essential knowledge and tools to create intuitive, efficient, and visually appealing user interfaces. We will start by mastering the core building blocks of front-end development, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript before diving into more advanced topics. Along the way, we will explore how AI tools can assist us in making development faster and more efficient, helping us build applications that are not only functional but also engaging and accessible. This is going to be an exciting journey, and I can't wait to share my experience and knowledge with you. Get ready to enhance your front-end development skills and build incredible digital experience. So let's get started. And by the way, when you know JavaScript, you can also master a lot of libraries and frameworks and be not only front-end web developer, but also mobile developer, backend developer, or even QA. So let's start.
Yeah, here I explained some very important ChatGPT prompts that you can use with when you work with code. And here we speak about IDE. And yes, thank you, Yaroslav. So yeah, now I want you to download Live Server. And what is Live Server? Live Server is extension that can help us HTML pages with hot reload rightly in the web. And when you download it, you can see here in the bottom a small tab, Go Live. You can open your file. Let's now create it. Yeah, and HTML files with extension .html. Oh, yeah, and when you, oh my God. And when you click Go Live, you can see it rightly in the web. And when you add some changes, and now let's change hello world, hello me, you can see it rightly in the web with hot. So you need to save that file, and after that saving, you can see changes on your web page. So did everyone download it now? Super wonderful. And here, when we work with live server, we can also put some files not to cancel it and run again, but we can just let me. Oh no, I can zoom here. Okay, we can zoom just. We can write the name of that file here, and it will change. So yeah, everything works very good with live server. And why do we need Prettier? When we work with HTML code or in general with different code, we want some formatting and we want to see our code structured, similar everywhere in every file. And Prettier really help with this. You can see some shortcuts in that instruction of Prettier. And when you just write some code, you can run that shortcut, or you can set up that it will run after the save and it will format your code. And for example, yeah, I can write, no, footer with a lot of text in it. No, edit more one. And after run, you just see how it's formatted and everything works very correctly and you have a very clear code. Also, it works with some spaces, and when you run it, it's also put in order. So okay, let's move on. And the next one, plugins, it's about language tool and English support for language tool. It's also very useful because as you can see here, now it showed me error that I wrote some mistake in that word, or also if we, I don't know, word that hates, I think, everyone to write successful. Yeah, it also shows here. And when you see quick fix, it can show you how to fix it and change it automatically. So yeah, that's also two very important tools. And yeah, let's move on. What about GitHub pages? In our course, every homework, we will need from you two links for your GitHub repository and for your GitHub pages. And I hope that you installed everything. And yeah, let's now in live. Yeah, GitHub pages. Okay, so firstly, I need you in that new folder that you created, create index.html file. And also I need you to create repository where you will push that code in GitHub. So I prepared that, and you can just create empty repository. And in that empty repository, you will see an instruction how to edit file. And yeah, when you create index.html file, you can just write one that's simple. I forgot how it's called, to be honest. But yeah, and click enter, and it must create you the structure of HTML file, and we will work with it a lot. So yeah, please create empty repository, and we will work with that. So let me firstly introduce you what it GitHub pages, and I will give you some time to make everything. So you can see it locally on your machine, and other users can't see it. And we want to use some free deploy service, and GitHub Pages is a very cool tool that can deploy your code freely, and it's very easy to set up. But there are a lot of interesting moments when you work with frameworks, but it's another course, it's another part, and it's another topic. But yeah, when we just add index.html file, let's add it, and let's add here some hello world. We commit here, and here you can see your changes in VS Code. You need to click plus to make it staged. And here you can write your commit, and not to write git commit m or git add or something like that. You click commit, and then sync changes. And here you can see that file. So let's go now to settings. And in settings in your GitHub repository, you can see here pages. And in pages, you can see they are deployed from branch. And here you need to select branch to your main because it's our main, and click save. And then everything is very easy. Then you go to actions, and you can see here your workflows. And now we have that deployment process. And here, after it builds, you can see or errors in report build status or deployed link. Now we need to wait a little bit, but yeah. Yeah, and here you can see that everything was successfully built successfully. And you can see here deployed link and here our hello world. So now I need you to make the same steps as I made. And if you have some question, you can ask it.
Show one more time how to publish the GitHub file.
So here you can, let's move it here. All right, one new file. You create index.html file. Here you can roll just how is it symbol called? I can't remember, but okay, you can write знак оклику, click enter, it creates you. Oh yeah, thank you. Here you can write, I don't know, some main and hello world. And here you can see changes. You click plus icon, and here you can write some comments. I don't know, to maybe some introduce you some a very good and very best practices for commits. You can write and you can search it in internet about fit, fix, refactor, and other stuff. But yeah, so let's write fit, create new file, commit, and then think changes, and it goes to your repository. And if you want to delete it, you can just search commit in that 3 dots and click undo last commit and remove the changes. Yeah, and also if you want to remove all files, you can see here discard all changes and just remove it. Yeah, what is HTML? In general, HTML stands in the standard markup language for creating web pages, and yeah, unfortunately, it's not the programming language. Okay, some explosions, good. Legendary day when you're Ukrainian. So yeah, HTML is a standard markup language for creating web pages, and unfortunately, it's not programming language. And you can see a lot of jokes here that you're HTML developer, something like that. Developers really love to jokes a lot about the fact that HTML is not programming language. And when you see some web pages, we can split it in 3 different layers: HTML, HTML plus CSS, and HTML plus CSS and JavaScript. And here on that picture, you can see skeleton. Skeleton is just HTML, and it's like true because HTML without any colors, without any styling, it's just skeleton. And you can see here, 1 second, I want to run. Yeah, here I added some styling, and it looks ugly, let's be honest, but yeah, here's some styling, and that's with CSS, but without it, just plain text, and it's just skeleton. And JavaScript is all our functionality, it's all our API requests, I don't know, some other interesting stuff, some button functionality, and etc., etc. So, also, I want to describe some HTML history because I think that history is always very important. And yeah, HTML was first developed in 1991 by Tim Berners-Lee. Here you can see that photo of him. And he was inventor of World Wide Web. The earliest version was HTML 1.0, was very simple and allowing only basic text formatting and links. But by the next version of HTML 1.2, images and basic elements were introduced, making web pages more visually structured. And as the web development grew, here was introduced HTML 4.01, and it was introduced in 1999, adding support for forms, tables, and scripting. And this version allowed websites to become more dynamic with, yeah, let me just show that. Here you can see that what was added in here. And from that version, developers could use list, images, tables, styles, scripts, and it become more dynamically and allowing developers to create more powerful web applications. And then HTML has continuously evolved to meet the needs of modern web development, making it fundamental technology that continues to shape the internet as we know it today. Now we have current version with HTML5. I think it's HTML 5.02 or something like that. But yeah, here we can also see new audio, new video, and canvas. And here you can see purpose of it, but I think from the name it's very clear what the purpose of that content. And yeah, let's deep dive a little bit, not a little bit, in structure of HTML file. As I said earlier, HTML is a standard markup language for creating web pages, and it has doc type. And yeah, we can create it, and it's the first line when you can see it. And also we have XHTML, but I think we will speak about it later, or you will have some researches at home. An HTML document is simply a text file with a .html extension, and it contains various elements that tell the web browser how to display content. And here we have some parts. First one is that initial tag doc type HTML. Without it, it won't work, and your IDE and web pages can't recognize it as as HTML file. So the next one is HTML tag. Here we can have some languages, and here can be a lot of different settings, but we will deep dive it in other lectures. And also we have two very main tags, is head and body. In head we have different very important meta tags. Meta tags, we also will speak about it a lot in our next lectures. But here, what is important, we will use now title. Title is the title of your web page, and you can see it here, document. And for example, if I want to change it, for some, I don't know, let's also name Hello World. It will change it here. It's also very important to use and not to forget to change it, because when we when we see some web pages, they have dynamically that title or something like that, but it's the first thing that when you see the web page, and when you see just tabs. And yeah, and all other stuff that we will speak about are allocated in body tag, and body tag is all text where you can write your skeleton. And yeah, so let me just so understand it's like a scheme. You can see it here. We have general HTML tag. Here you can see the general HTML tag, and here, by the way, all tags in HTML they not self-closed, and you need to write without that slash the first initial tag, and then with closed one. But we have some self-closed tags. We will speak about it earlier. For example, I'm actually going to write just like that.
Sorry,
So, yeah.
I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have a blurred background and we can see the word.
Yeah.
Okay, let me fix it. Do you see it now?
No, still.
No.
Interesting. Maybe that's the problem of the camera.
It's like background blur or something like it.
Maybe it's some problem with focus.
But you are focused, but not the content.
And also we can see some kind of mask around you, so sometimes it shifts.
Wow. Interesting.
It's like a feature of a Zoom.
That's very sad. Interesting. But okay, not to use the dashboard.
Just take a photo of this structure and just send it in chat.
Thank you, Yaroslav. So, do you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Super wonderful, amazing. So yeah, let's now that we know how HTML documents are structured, let's talk about the two main types of elements in HTML, and it's block elements and inline elements. Block elements take up the full width of their container. So unfortunately, you can't see it here. Or maybe we can. Maybe we can put it here. Some empty slide, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, let's see an example. Block elements take up the full width of their container, meaning they always start on a new line. For example, here you can see heading, and heading takes half the line. Those elements are used to structure content into section. Examples include D, which is generate container, and P for paragraphs, and from H1 to H6 for headings. And here, I think it's pretty easy to understand that they take up the full width of their container, always start on a new line, and block elements define larger structural sections. We'll speak about role text later, but yeah, that's a very crucial and important information. And what about inline element? I think that it's pretty clear that it's a total opposite of block elements, and they take up only as much width as they need it, stay in the same line as surrounding content, and inline elements are used for styling and small modifications within a line. So it's yeah, what about elements? Block elements are div, p from h1 to h6, ul, ol, li, main, table, everything that can structure information and that you need from the new line. So when you use div, it will, all the divs without styling will be like a list. But what about inline elements? When we just write span, let's make it right now. Here we can have some hello world again. And if we write again it, just duplicated it, we have it from the new line. And if we speak about inline elements here, you can write span and write, I don't know, it's me. Here you can see it as one line without any new lines and any new white spaces. So let's start with text. And first category is headings. Headings is used for headers, as it's pretty obvious, and HTML provides 6 levels of headings: H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. And H1 is the most important heading, and is that one that all your users will see firstly. And H6 is the least important, but not unimportant. And yeah, you can play with it a lot. And also, if you don't style it in any way, you will see that I prepared some files for you. Yeah, you can see it here that they also different sizes, and all texts are very important semantically, because we will speak about SEO and why is it important, and why we need to use semantic text. But yes, now you can see just that 6 headings, and it's pretty easy with them. And the next one is paragraphs. You can define paragraph with P, it's just ordinary text, and that uses for some description, I don't know, some description, some cards titles, or not titles, sorry, some information. For example, if we have a booking card with days or something like that information, you can use pad tag, because it just define the paragraph, define just plain text. And also we can see one second. Oh. Yeah, here you can see how it works in web pages. You can see here #1 tag main title and pad tag with some description. And also we can divide that information with line break and horizontal line, and display some preformatted text. So what does it mean? You can see here subheading H2, H2. And they divide it with HR. HR create that line, and it divides some content, and you will also work with it a lot. And BR create a line break. Yeah, so we can see here some there is decryption, and we use just 2 BR tags that created line break, and with line breaks separated on a new line. So pretty easy with that, and very interesting moment about preformatted text and how does it work, because if we want to use or write some poem, for example, as I mentioned here, web development is like a poem with code as the verse, design as the matter, and user experience as the rhyme. And if we save it and want to see it on our web page, we just see one line. So we add some white spaces, we add some line breaks, but it's only one line, and that's so sad. But we have pre-tag that create the magic. So as you write, it will seamlessly deployed, and you will see it just as you see it here. And yeah, very interesting that it's not a common tag, and a very interesting fact that if you just move it to the start of the line, it will be also moved, and it ruin all structure. But yeah, it's a very funny tag. And also, to be honest, with all my experience, I have never seen that tag in production.
I totally forgot.
Yeah, and it also for me like it was also for me like a new yeah, thank you, a new discovery that we had the tag when I just prepared the selection. But yeah, that's very funny to know it. And what about text formatting? You can text format with different text, not only CSS stuff, but yeah, here we can use B tag, strong, I am US code small and mark. And how does it look? Yeah, here you can see a lot of different styles of text. And here they are. So you can write, for example, strong, and you always need to put a closure tag with HTML text. And I think it's very understandable. You need just to remind all the text and take it in your mind. Yeah, and let's move on to structure and web pages. Here we can see a lot of different texts, and they are all semantic text. So main, section, article, header, footer, nav, aside, they all used for structuring your web page. And header, I think it's pretty obvious that it's for header. It must contain some or logo or title or something like that. Nav used for your navigation on your web page, for example, some links between web pages. But it's very important to understand that not all links must be nested inside nav tag, because nav tags use only for navigation, like for header. So they also go very like in a couple. Then we have main content. And main contains the primary content of the page, unique per page. So when you have some aside navigation or something like that, or aside info, it must be not included into main tag, because main tag, as described here, it's unique per page. So if you have some repeated code that you can use everywhere, for example, header is not inside main, footer is not inside main, and main is just like your main content. And section define a semantic section of content, typically with heading. To be honest, it's like very important to remember that section should always have heading, because sometimes you can have some concerns about what to use, section or article or one interesting another tag, and we'll speak it on next slide. So yeah, I think with section is very easy to understand. And what is article? Article represents an independent self-contained piece of content. And what does it mean? It means that you have, for example, some list of cards or something like that, some content that you can repeat in other pages or something like that. And article also can be without that heading, but it represents some information, some title, description, and other stuff.
It's for better SEO.
Yeah, it's also very important to use everywhere. And footer, I think it's pretty obvious what does it mean, because you have it in your Figma designs. And footer stands for footer information, where you can have some navigation between pages, some web page map, I don't know, some contact info and other stuff. Yeah, and we go to my favorite tag. It's div, because div, it's like everything that you can see here. Header can be a div, navigation can be a div, section can be a div, article can be a div, aside can be a div, footer can be a div, even button can be a div, to be honest. Everything can be a div if you div enough. So yeah. But that's not okay to use it everywhere, and you always need to remember that all semantic tags were created not just for the joke, or not, I don't know, or just in them, and know that they are here. 1 second, I want to present you that file. Yeah, here, and everything of that is created with header, main, aside information, some other stuff. You can see it all here, and everything of that, even header, even main tag, can be replaced with div. So div, it's like any in TypeScript, but I think we will speak about it later. So yeah, and let's move on to creating images. By the way, were you successful with that GitHub Pages task? online group. How are you? And someone answer, please.
I'm still trying to commit my changes. I don't know why it doesn't take so long, but I'm trying.
Okay, you can also try to edit with your terminal, by the way. Just add your new remote origin and then push with terminal and not the functionality from VS Code. But sometimes it with first initial commit it can cause some problems. But then after your first initial commit, it works very correctly. Yeah, let's speak now about creating images. The image tag is used to display images on the web page, and it can be self-closed. It must be self-closed. So you can see here that you don't have another tag image. And what about the attributes? In general, all tags have some attributes. You can see it with some advices from VS Code when you just write something. For example, here, let's remove it, for example, and you want to add some width. And it gives you that advice that you can use it, and you can just click enter and it will write it for you. And here you can see it a lot. So the main attributes of image is src, alt, width, and height. Src can be added in different ways. First one is from your from web page or I don't know, web server or something like that. So it's external src, and it presented here. And another one is from your files with relative or absolute passes. I think we will speak about it also in the next lectures. But yeah, here it's added with relative pass. Here I added shape profile WebP image. And here I just added with dot and slash. And it's also give you some advices what to use. And here you can just move on to it. And yes, and also about alt argument, alt stands for description of the image, and it's also very important to add it because when you, okay, I think that maybe some introduction we needed to make it on our first section, but yeah. When we work with web pages, we have some Google bots. We can have some search engines and other stuff that analyze our web page and create some information about it. And when you Google it, you can see some highlighted text or something like that. And with that semantic text and with all of the descriptions, your web page can big a chance to be searched, to be founded in just ordinary Google search or some other internet. Not web pages. Oh my God, what is it? Okay, browsers. Let's be browsers. So yeah, every image must contain alt. Alt stands for the description, and then we have width and height. I think it's obvious about their usage. We can see, we can write it here, height 200, and you can see it here. So yeah, that's all with images. And so let's speak about creating links. One second. Okay, for links we use a tag, and it has the following attributes: href, target, and title. Href is the destination of the link. Target is specifies how the link will open, and title a tooltip description that appears when you hovering over the link. And what about target attribute? It has some different variants. Self, blank, parent, and top. And for example, you can see it here. It opens a new tab, and I want to speak about some interesting things because we We are not using not only just ordinary links or some navigation between pages. We also need to use some links that referred to mailing or calling. So what about mailing? We have it here, and it started with mail to. Then you add your mail that you want to mail, and you can have some subject or body or something like that. But yeah, in general, you can use just this, and that stands for mailing. And you can see it here when you click send to mail. Here opens your mailing service. Oh my god, I have to close it. Here opens your mailing service, and here opens your phone. But as I made this lecture and presented with my laptop, it wants me to use FaceTime.
It's very annoying. And to be honest, for me, like,
Yes.
they call you.
Yes, it's very annoying, but it's very important also to edit for semantic text, for SEO optimization and other stuff. And I know some people, I have some friends that really use that functionality. Yeah, call me, send email, and not just copy it and yeah. And we also can navigate to another page. For navigation to another page, we can write in href tag attribute, just the name of your file. And here we will go to that page. So yeah, that's it about creating links. And tables. Oh my God, tables is my, I think, most favorite and the most annoying topic. Before the HTML5, every web pages were created with tables, and all the structures were made with them. So if you want to put just two cards in one line, you need to use table. If you want to make some, I don't know, header, other stuff, you need to use table. And it's like the introduction, I guess, just to learn it and to understand that pain, how it was awful, how it was annoying to create web pages with just tables. But to be honest, it's not that old technology. And we also have some new frameworks for tables, for creating tables, for designing them, to work with them. And also tables are used for creating emails. All emails are tables. That's why you can see, I don't know, some table structure or something like that, or not very hard designs with mails, because it's very hard to create with tables, and all mails unfortunately use tables. So what about tables? We have a general tag table. Let's move here. Oh no, that's spoilers. Okay, we have a main tag table. You can set some border clubs and other stuff. You can have caption about the table. It will be at the top of that table and will describe that. And then you have a lot of different texts. So the main, again, here is a very bad example of that. Okay. So you have your header of the table, and header of the table should be in the head tag. Then in that the head tag, you need to write th, and no, you need to write tr and then th. And what does the tag stands for? So you can just move it in your brain that the T letter at the start of the tag, because it's table, it stands for table. So you can have table head, I think it's obvious what it stands for, and table body. So here, for example, when you see person 1, person 2, person 3, it's table head must be. And that part, it's table body. So it's the body. And every line makes with tr tag, and every tr tag consists with td tag. And also we have the footer and call group. And very interesting that we can also combine some we can combine some table cells, and it will take some more places. Because, for example, here we wrote call span 2, and we said that that person 1 will take 2 columns. And you can see here, Emil and Tobias are just in person 1. And also we can write row span. And it will stand for rows, and now it takes now it takes 2 rows different. So yeah, and a little bit spoiler for you, but you will have some additional task with that, and you will play with this information. But let's move on. I think that you will have some questions when you will have that task. What about lists? We have 3 different types of lists. It's unordered lists, ordered lists, and description lists. Unordered lists stands with some circles, some dots, and no, it's not structured. Ordered list is ordered list. It's opposite of an ordered list, and you can see here how you can style it, how you can use different list styles, and you have descriptions list. And description list also not used very often. And for my also experience, I haven't seen the DL tag to be honest. But yeah, you will work often with UL and OL. Oh no, and I just put ordered, and I ordered in the same way. Okay. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah, for unordered list we use, oh no, for ordered list we use OL. And unordered list we use UL. And you can see it. Here. So we have some ordered list, we have an ordered list, we have nested list because you can nest them as you want, and we have description list. And for example, let's add some list style type with circle, no, with square view. Yeah, and you can see it here. So you can play a lot, and you will have your homework about lists and all other HTML text, and I think you will discover it a lot. So yeah, let's move on. Yeah, and let's move to forms part, because with forms you will work also a lot, and that's a very huge topic. And here a lot of different text in that forms topic. So for the forms, we use form tag, and it's used to create an HTML form that allows users to input data and send it to a server processing. And we have action and method, but I think that it's not now important for you, but yeah, you need to know that information, and you will work with it when you know some backend part or something like that, because it stands for some functionality that will work after your form submitted, and with which method do you want it to submit it. But also we can see here target. Target as an image, it's totally the same, self, blank, parent, and top. And we can also play with autocomplete. Let me just show you what it stands for. Yeah, here, for example, here, for example, we can see autocomplete on, and when we just click here, I have a lot of different variants what I can use for this, for example, test and submit it or something like that. And sometimes it's very annoying, and you can just turn it off. And you need some time to turn it off, for example, for passwords, sometimes for email, sometimes for stuff like that, or when you have, I don't know, some logout information or something like that. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, and also there can be no validate, but we'll speak about that when we will validate that form. And here you can see another form inputs. Oh, no, not another, sorry. Here we can see input tag, and input tag stands for that input that you can see here. And with input, it's very interesting because input, it's like a div, and it can be anyone, everyone, and no one at the same time. Here you can see some attributes that input tag has. Its type, name, ID, value, placeholder, read-only, disabled, autofocus, autocomplete, size, and spell check. And what is types? You can see there all of types of input and what it can be. It can be a button, it can be a checkbox, color, date. And let me just uncomment that part of code. And you will see.
Actually, question, how do you comment stuff?
Yeah. For example, in my book, I have Command K, Command C, and I think that it's the same on Windows, but with Control or with Windows, you can try it. And if you want to uncomment it, the same, but not the second part, not C, but Control K, Control U. You can try it. Does it works?
No, it almost starts down.
Oh, interesting.
Hold on. Number two.
Control K, Control C. In some shortcuts in settings of VS Code, but it's very important to have that.
Control K plus K.
Does it work now?
No, not work.
Interesting. Okay, let's move on.
Define yourself single times. It's not going to brackets to dash exclamation into dashes. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and here I added as much as possible of different types of input, for example, text, password, email, phone, radio, I don't know, some range and other stuff. And here you can see all of them. Some text, some password, and password also is hidden. Email, phone, gender with radio button. Radio button can be chosen only one of them. If we speak about select the and checkboxes, they can be chosen multiplied. So yeah, here also date of birth with calendar, favorite color, for example. Upload resume or choose some file, rate us, and submit button with input. So yeah, that's all of them. Here you can also see input type reset. It's also a very useful type of input where you can reset just all your form. Yeah, and you can just play with them. You can see all of them and use all of them. Yeah, and when we speak about inputs, it's very important to add some information about class and ID for tags. So all tags have the same attribute, and it's called class, and it calls ID. So ID is the name of your component, and it must be unique in every page. So it can't be repeated in any way. And it's very important to remember this because class can be repeated, and you can have multiple classes, for example, test and no. dummy component, correct component, etc., etc. And with every white space, they are new class name, and you can combine them, because then when we will work with CSS, you will see how it works. But ID must be unique everywhere. And when we speak about yeah, here also added some attributes of inputs. There are just a lot of them. You can read it on W3 School or other stuff. We will attach some links about documentation. And yeah, you can see how much of them. Yeah, and when we speak about input, we also want to style them with some label information. And here, for example, that's the label of that input. And why do we need unique ID? Second. Yeah, here you can see that label, the text of that label, and for. And in for attribute, we write ID of your input. And that's why we need to use it unique. And also, we'll speak later about that unique IDs, but yeah, for now, for label, you use ID of your input that you want to have that placeholder. And yes, and also important information about input, that it can be required for the form, or if you don't write it, it's not required for a form. And for example, when you just want to submit it, it has some errors, and it mentions for users that you need to fulfill that field set. Yeah, and also you can write here some value, and it will be here, and it will be like initial value of your input. So yeah, let's move on. Also, we have select an option. Let me comment that part. We want also to work with some select and to see some, oh no. Yeah, it's pretty obvious what it stands for. You can see here some options. Options can be unavailable, so it can be disabled, and some options can be pre-selected. It will be like initial value of your select, and that's all for it, I think. Yeah, and here you can see also some attributes of select and attribute and option. It's ID, name, multiply, size, disabled, value selected and disabled. Yeah, and also we have text area. Second. Yeah, text area is like a very huge input, and it can be really huge, and you can define the size of that input, and it can have some scrolls, some predefined lines, some predefined height and width. Yeah, and also interesting comment about it, that you can just drag it and change the size of it. And when you work with CSS, you just need to remember about that fact and block that possibility. Yeah, and the last one about buttons. About HTML text is button, and button, I think it's pretty obvious what it stands for, and also my mistake that I didn't edit here the code of button. But yeah, it's pretty obvious what it stands for, and you can have some on-click functionality, type name, and other stuff. Yeah, so we have some more times to speak about CSS and how it works, how it stands for, how I don't know everything about it. And yeah, as I said that picture earlier, that CSS we use for styling everything, and all web pages are that beautiful because of CSS. And how you can edit here. When we speak about styling components, we can use it in 3 different ways. First one is inline styles. And for example, let me move to where Yeah, let's work with that index.html. Yeah, we bullet other lectures and other teacher assistants. Yeah, let's create firstly some, I don't know, some structure. Yeah, we can have some div, some basic information. Yeah, well, let's do it like that. And also, by the way, I want to tell you about some very interesting shortcuts in VS Code and some very interesting functionality. I present you that znakokleko. I think I will never know how it's called in English, but yeah. And also, if you want to add some navigation, or if you want to have some multiply component, you can write d, for example, then star, and then the number of that elements, and click enter. And you have duplicated codes where you can write that you want. It's very useful for working with some lists, because here and also here we can write just li5, and you have 5 elements. And also, if you want some nested elements, you can write it like that, and you'll have whole structure of your list. And here, for example, we can write it like that. So yeah, it's also very useful, and when I work with HTML, I use it a lot, to be honest. So yeah, we have some pretty simple web page. Yeah, one in XHTML. Booking Shark Swamp, very good, limited proposal. And when we speak about CSS, we can add it in 3 different ways: internal, inline, and external. What about internal styles? Inline, sorry. We can write everywhere attribute style. And here you can write all the styles that you want, and it will be just in one line with your tag and other attributes. And for example, if a little bit spoiler to your next topics about CSS, I think we will speak about Tailwind, and CSS is just okay. Everything started with inline styles, where you write with your tag and other stuff, and then every developer tried to decompose it and to separate it from index.html file, to have it like in separate place. And some developers just want to continue use it, and we have some frameworks to work with inline styles that really improve our time of coding and other stuff. But to be honest, I hate it with all my heart. But yeah, we have that inline styles, and when we speak about CSS, I think that for now you will need just only some text. For example, we can color it with background color here. Oh no, let it be green. You can add some border. And for border, you always need to write the size of border, for example, 1 pixel. Then you need to write a shape of your border, for example, solid. And then you need to write color of your border. And here you can see it, but let's make it uglier and write 16 pixels for border. And yeah, now you can see it here. And also, I know that there are a lot of different extensions for color, sorry. That you can use. And they added to you some, they add for you some palettes where you can just, yeah, here, for example, where you can change that color, and it's very useful, but I don't know why it doesn't work on my MacBook. But yeah, border, background color, and it's just inline styles, but it looks ugly for me, to be honest, and I hope that you also don't like it. And we can separate it from the tag, because everything must be separated, and it's like a core idea of web development and how to separate it. So here two different variants. One is to put style tag in head, and here we can write everything that we want. But how to do it? How to make CSS understand that we want to style that component? So here we use class and IDs, or we can style all elements. For example, if we had some, I don't know, insurance form, what also can we book? I think some funny examples. I don't know. Okay, booking hotel. And we want to add some spacing for it. So we can write just here section, and all styles that you will write here in that part, in that figure brackets, they will affect all the sections. So if we write here background color green, it will color all sections. But if we want to make exact section with some styles, we can add here class or ID, and class, for example, mail. And here, how to write it, you need to put dot, write your class, and again, open your brackets. And here it can be red. Yeah, and now you can see here that class styles are higher and more important than text styles. And here we can see that booking Shrek's farm, it colored with green, and another section without class, it colored with red. And also we can duplicate that class for that section, and it will be also colored in green. So yeah, if you want to add some spacing, what I think about everything, I will give you details on the next lesson. But yeah, for example, we want to have inside that section some spaces, as you have some containers or stuff like that. We use for that padding. And you can write it padding 16 pixels. Yeah, I just removed it. And you will see here paddings for that sections. Oh no, it's for mainly editor. But yeah, you can see here some padding, you can see some spaces. And what about padding? You can also write padding left, top, bottom, right. It will work correct, but also you can write, for example, 16 pixels and 32 pixels. And first value will stand for horizontal paddings, and another one will stand for vertical paddings. So here you can see 32 pixels, and here 16 pixels. The same with, and by the way, you can also write like that. And here you can see that 8 pixels we have here. It's like you can make a circle in your head with that styles, what it stands for. And I think that maybe here we have some, oh no, we don't have that. But yeah, we have also MDN references where you can see all of this and how does it works. And why doesn't it work now? Interesting. Okay, MDN have some issues. But yeah, here you can see that that top and bottom or left and right. Here you can see that it stands for left. Let me zoom it 1 second. That value stands for bottom. No. Yeah, left and top, left and right and bottom. Yeah, so that value for top, that's for horizontal paddings, and that for bottom padding. And also that one, it's like a circle, top, right, bottom, left. To be honest, when I write like this, like that, I always want to just cross it like in the chart or something like that, and just wanted to do it. I don't know why didn't they put that didn't put that pashalka Easter egg. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, let's continue. But it's about inside sizes, inside paddings. And we want to have some margins, some spaces between the sections, for example, or separate that section with some white space. And for example, for every section, let's add margin for 16 pixels. And what can we see now? That it moved, and it have now spaces between two that bookings sections and in the left and in the right. So margin is stand for outside the component. Widthstupper, sorry, I forgot how to tell it. And padding stands for inside Widthstupper. So yeah, I think that it's all that you need to know now. Oh yeah, also you can style text text from H1 to H6, paragraph check, or span. For example, here you can write style and write color and let it be brown, but why does it red? Okay, interesting. Yeah, and 1 second. A little bit prettier. So yeah, here you can just write your color for your text and
Flowers.
yeah, very sexy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's all for today with CSS. Oh yeah, sorry. And the last variant, how you can add CSS to your file, you can just remove it. Well, no, let's start with creating index CSS file. And here you need link